A crappy band with a big show is a crappy band, and a crappy band with a whole lot of merchandise is still a crappy band, and we are neither. When you're in the studio making an album and you're looking at a computer screen instead of a bunch of guys playing music, you're making a science experiment. What we did is we played in a room together, we wrote the songs together, we did it on analog tape, the way all the greats that we loved made their music, whether it was Motown. You listen to the Temptations doing Can't Get Next to You. You listen to the Four Tops. You listen to James Brown, the Beatles, the Stones, Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix. It was music of passion. It wasn't music where everything was perfect, but that's what makes real rock and roll. So that's what we were going for.
People with different ears listen to different things. I've heard, gee, the drums are really forward, and it feels, gee, it's a really guitar heavy record, gee, the bass is heavy. The truth is that the instruments are in your face. It's hard to ignore anyone. It's in your face music. Let me just say this the right way, in your face. Back to the Stone Age happened very naturally in the studio. Eric Singer, our drummer, started talking about the energy of Detroit bands like the MC5, and without thinking too much about it, we started tossing around chords, and literally most of the song was written in the studio, recorded very fast, and the lyric had to do with technology's fine, but every once in a while you just want to go back to the Stone Age. By the way, that sound that you heard, there's no extra charge for that. That's free.
All for the Love of Rock and Roll was written for Eric Singer. Eric is the kind of singer that most bands would give their pinky to have fronting the band. And he deserved a song that was not the throwaway bone that you throw to the drummer. It's a song about really his life and about the fact that he left Cleveland just to rock and roll, and that drumming is his life. It's a proud song, and it's a song that fits him like a glove, and belongs on the album. It's hard to rhyme opera.
The truth is that the song that appears most in our songs is the word I, which is a belief of self-empowerment that we have. There are other bands that use the word we. We are the champions, we're this, we're that. I is the most important and powerful word in the English language. I want to rock and roll. I love it loud. I was made for loving you. If you can say that, self-empowerment.
The lyric for Devil Is Me was really an homage, so to speak, for Gene and to Gene. It was a lyric that seemed to fit him, and we needed something for that song. The riff was his, and I started thinking the whole idea of the conflict, and you're chasing something and you're looking to put blame on someone else, and you realize that the devil is actually inside each one of us. So hence the devil is me, and in this case the devil is Gene. We don't pontificate or pass judgment on anybody. Ultimately the public does that, and we're big proponents of tape, not on stage like a lot of other people, tape in the studio. And when you hit the stage, you better believe it's the four of us doing it, and nobody hidden under the stage. We don't have choreographed dancers. And when you hear this nonsense, well, you can't move around and sing. Well, the Temptations sure did it, a whole lot of other bands did it, and we do it. If you're saying I can't sing and dance, you probably can dance, but you can't sing. I don't think we're privy to what happened with Billy Joe. I think the talk seems to be that he was kind of going off the rails. That may have been an example of it. That in itself might seem kind of non-threatening and rock and roll, but the scope of everything else that was going on seems to point towards, you know, he may have taken it a little too far.
Everybody should puke on stage. It's very rock and roll. I puke blood. They're just ripping me off. It's been done before, kids.
Humble Pie, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, all these great bands, they weren't about... Jesus Christ! Let's start this again, shall we? What we wanted from Monster was to capture the passion that all the music we listened to and the...
It's kind of like, I don't know exactly.
You guys go away. Sure. Go away. You guys are talking. Oh, sorry. Go away. Just go away.
We'll get this done sooner or later. Are you done, for God's sakes?